You know that feeling when you try your absolute best to do the right thing, and instead of being respected for it, people mock you and drag you down to their level? That's exactly what happened to me. I'm a responsible dog owner. I love my 3 dogs like family, but I make sure they're trained, controlled, and respectful of others. When they bark, they're brought inside immediately. They know their commands. They behave. But my neighbors? Oh, they had 3 dogs too. And from the moment they moved in, the difference was night and day. Their dogs barked non-stop, lunged at fences, and had no training whatsoever. I could see the look on their faces the first time they saw mine sit quietly on command. Shock, and then embarrassment. And instead of using that moment as motivation to do better, they turned it into insecurity and resentment. Whenever they saw me correct mine, they'd snap. Don't do that, they're just being dogs. They're doing their job. Translation: please don't make us feel bad that your dogs are civilized and ours are nightmares. Now, I had put real money into making sure my yard was secure. $8,000 for a vinyl picket fence. They built their own fence, but instead of making it fully independent, they just used mine as the 4th wall. No problem at first, until one of their dogs decided it wanted to break through my fence and attack mine. I went above and beyond to avoid conflict. Instead of confronting them right away, I installed privacy backing along my fence, more money out of my pocket, and even planted 15 boxwood shrubs to block the sight lines. That was another $1,000 and hours of sweat. And do you know what their response was? The husband actually mocked me, smirked and said, "That's not gonna work. They'll still hear each other." And spoiler, he was right. After all that effort, their dog still went insane at the fence. My patience was thin, but I kept it polite. I sent them a carefully worded text. No accusations, just concern. I explained that I was worried their dog was going to break my fence, offered suggestions, emphasized safety, and even said I wanted to keep good rapport. Their response? Playing the victim. Suddenly, my dogs were the problem. And then the wife started sending me unhinged texts about how my message had ruined her week, and how I owed her an apology. Imagine that. You try to prevent conflict and instead you're the bad guy. Eventually, they did something drastic. They put up their own 6-foot privacy fence attached to mine. A legal height, but honestly, I didn't care. If it meant not seeing their faces again, it was a blessing. I wasn't going to report it. At that point, peace was worth more than the satisfaction of pointing out their mistake. But of course, the nightmare wasn't over. Instead of solving the problem, they just created new ones. They started letting their dogs off-leash in unfenced areas. Their pack ran wild, into my garden, into the street, and of course straight at my fence trying to break through again. That's when I installed security cameras. Best decision I ever made. And thank God I did, because soon enough I had footage of everything. Their aggressive dog throwing itself at my fence, their other 2 trampling through my yard, and all of them running loose in the street where families walk daily. When I finally had enough and confronted them, do you know what they did? They cursed me out. Like I was the one in the wrong. That was the breaking point. I called the police. The lieutenant himself came out, reviewed my footage and told me flat out, "Keep sending us every clip. We'll find them every single time." And he wasn't exaggerating. He was genuinely concerned about neighborhood safety after what he saw on my cameras. Finally, I had someone in authority who saw the truth. And then came the cherry on top. One evening, I caught them on camera again. This time, not in my yard, but across the street in the wildlife refuge, walking their dog. And guess what? The dog pooped. And they just walked away. No bag, no scoop, nothing. They left it. Now, in my neighborhood, there's a running mystery. People constantly complain on our Facebook group about piles of dog poop being left everywhere. Nobody knew who the culprit was. Until now. I sent the video straight to our community leader. His response: post it publicly. And email every resident while you're at it. Done. I uploaded the video clear as day. showing them letting their dog foul the refuge and walk away without picking it up. And the comments came pouring in. People were furious. They finally knew who the mystery poopers were. One neighbor admitted they'd stopped walking on our block because they felt unsafe with those dogs roaming loose. Another said they'd always wondered who left the piles everywhere. And now everyone knew. Even better, the community leader himself personally went over to their house and shamed them. Told them he'd be raising the issue with the cops too. Power in numbers, baby. So in one night, instead of me being the frustrated, patient neighbor bending over backward to keep the peace, they were the ones exposed. Shamed publicly. Shamed privately. And staring down another round of fines they couldn't spin their way out of. And the best part? Every word, every claim, every accusation I made backed by crystal clear video evidence. They couldn't twist it, couldn't deny it, couldn't turn it back on me like they always tried. I sat back, poured myself a glass of wine and smiled. For once, I wasn't the one losing sleep over barking, fences, or texts full of gaslighting. They were. Sometimes revenge doesn't come from screaming matches or lawsuits. Sometimes it's as simple as holding up a mirror and letting the world see people for who they really are. And in this case, the world saw them as irresponsible, aggressive, and careless. And that truth hurt them more than anything I could have said. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and share it with someone who loves a good dose of karma. And tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? Don't forget to subscribe for more stories where justice finds the people who deserve it most.